You are looking live at an aerial view of Paco Arena here in the city of Manila, wherein we are about to write more volleyball history inside this venue. And we have a sizable crowd inside that will witness our first semifinal matchup in men's volleyball competition. But first, we check out our matches for today. We have a quadruple header. First off, San Beda winning in 3 sets over Arellano. And our second game, FEU taking out DLSU in 5 thrilling sets. And now we have our match at hand, the first semifinal of the V-League 2022 Men's Volleyball Collegiate Challenge. We have the NU Bulldogs against the Perpetual Altas. Good afternoon, everyone. Lawrence Fernandez here at the microphone, and with us is our analyst, Marge Tejada. Marge, the road to the final starts here, and we have NU against Perpetual.
Yes, definitely. This is an interesting game today because we have 2 champion teams who are going up against each other in this league.
Yeah, 2 championship teams, 2 teams with proud volleyball tradition. But first, let's discuss the NU Bulldogs, back-to-back UAAP champions in Season 80 and Season 81. And so far, they haven't lost in this tournament. They are 6-0. At isang set pa nga lang yung nalalaglag nila, and that was way back against Arellano pa. So when you talk about NU, you have to discuss Michelo Budin, one of their top players, averaging 13.5 points per game. What does the play of Michelo Budin bring to this juggernaut that is NU?
Well, for one, no, it's his consistency and he's added attack points and attack prowess, which helps out the other attackers of NU. No?
Speaking of the other attackers
yes,
na. Ayan, so maraming attacker itong NU, gaya nga ng sabi mo, March. And one of the revelations that they've had in the last game is Obed Mukaba, ang kanilang middle blocker, import at that as well. He had 11 points and was named player of the game the last time around in their quarterfinal match against San Beda. Kapag ganyan na gumagana yung middle blockers, March, how easy will it be for NU to be able to dominate this game against Perpetual?
Well, you know, if NU is able to activate all of their middle blockers, it's going to be a hard, defense play for Perpetual. Kasi, it's hard to read, especially if you have a setter like Retamar who really distributes the ball well amongst his players. So it's going to be a more difficult, how do I say this? How Perpetual will play defense against NU.
So we have NU in one corner, and in the other corner, competing for NCAA, Perpetual Altas. And when you mention the Altas, you cannot disregard itong kapitan nila na si Louie Ramirez.
Yes, definitely. He has been really consistent in the past games and someone Perpetual has been banking on, in this league.
Yeah, speaking of consistency, 28 points against Arellano last time around. They won that quarterfinal round, and Ramirez just showing his prowess against the Chiefs last time around. But of course, Ramirez cannot carry the Altas alone. That's why he needs support and he needs help. And
yes,
living up to his name, itong si Hero Austria naman.
Yes, and that's a good thing, no? Now, Ramirez has someone else in the team who could help him out. Kasi, yun nga, obviously, he cannot shoulder all the responsibility for Perpetual.
So which team will book a ticket to the finals? Will it be NU? Will it be Perpetual? Up next, this is the V-League.
Presenting our national officials for this match. First referee, Mr. Erlindo Eusebio. Second referee, Mr. John Irish Santos. Let's call on our starting lineup from our National University Bulldogs. Let's begin with our team captain, jersey number 13, Ave Joshua Retamar. At number 1, Angelo Nicolas Almendras. Wearing jersey number 6, Michaelo Budin. At number 10, Obed Mukaba. Number 11, Kenny Malinis. And number 23, Jen Gerard Amfranz Diao. Libero, number 8, Jan Mariano Sumagi. And head coach is Mr. Dante Alinsunurin. Calling on our University of Perpetual Help System Dalta Altas. Team captain wears jersey number 14, Louis Ramirez. At number 2, Clint Michael Mateo. Wearing jersey number 5, Michael Medalla. At number 6, Casey Andrade. Number 11, John Christian Inarciso. And number 19, Hero Austria. Libero, number 18, John Philip Pepito. Sitting in as head coach, Mr. Sinfronio Sammy Acailar.
Instead of Zareno.
Yep. Checking out the starting lineup for the NU Bulldogs, no deviations here. We have Retamar, Almendras, Kenry Malinis, Michaelo Budin, Obed Mukaba, Jan Gerard Jao, and Jan Mariano Sumagi, their starting libero. On the other hand, for the Altas, some changes on their starting roster. We have Ramirez, Austria, Andrade, Medalla, Mateo starting out for Zareno, Narciso their setter, and starting libero is John Philip Pepito. First referee of this match is Erlindo Eusebio, national referee, and also second referee is John Santos. Again, just to set up the table, whoever wins in this game between NU and Perpetual books a ticket to the finals of the Vili Collegiate Challenge men's volleyball tournament, while the loser goes to the battle for third and fourth place. And we are underway, set number 1 inside the Paco Arena, and Narciso straight to Mateo off the block and good.
Mateo hitting that outside towards his blockers, no, just wiping it out.
Yeah. Napansin natin, ito si Mateo starting out for Zareno, who started the last time around. Would that be a factor for NU's defense, knowing that there's somebody else inside for Perpetual?
That's possible, no? Kasi all this time it has been Zareno who is playing instead of Mateo. So probably it could be a factor, but then we'll see again, no, how NU would be able to adjust in this game.
Yeah, but another factor also for the Perpetual Altas is to limit their errors against a highly efficient NU squad that is. Limit those errors and they'll have a better chance. And again, another off-the-block hit for Louis Ramirez this time. 2-1 is the tally. Early lead here for the Altas in the semifinal matchup. On deck to serve is Michael Medalla for the Altas. So Maggie for the first ball. Retamar back set to Malinis. Block. Ramirez 2 points in a row.
So far, Perpetua is on fire today, and hopefully ma-maintain nila yung ganung energy nila inside the court.
Yeah, because with National University, even though they commit some errors from time to time, they have this quick ability to bounce back, to return to that juggernaut that they are.
Yes.
That's why Perpetual has to maintain their attack. But at that point, Michaelo Budin with a successful point for the Bulldogs.
Well, for one, this is going to be a battle between their two good volleyball systems, no?
Yeah, indeed. Because they have rich tradition when it comes to the sport. NU back-to-back champions in the UAAP. Perpetual has 12 NCAA men's volleyball championships. So in terms of banners and in terms of elite statuses in men's volleyball, these two teams are practically at the top of the mountain. Meanwhile, Perpetual up by 2 early on in set number 1. set to Budin, and that's a point for NU, net touch. And Perpetual has to be able to limit those errors.
Yes, those small unforced errors.
Yeah, because before you know it, NU
Yes.
can string a number of points and build a sizable lead quickly. A nice save there on the part of Perpetual. NU back set at Amar. Open zone for
Good attack.
Malinis.
Yes. Very smart attack.
Ano nangyari sa depensa ng Perpetual doon at naiwan nilang butas yung zone na yun?
I guess Perpetual was waiting for a strong attack coming from Ken Malinis. But, you know, Ken Malinis was so quick to recognize na everyone was, you know, naka-atras sila lahat sa depensa and he just saw that zone open.
In the meantime, a strong attack by Ramirez, and this is one of also the key factors to victory for Perpetual.
Yes.
If they can get Ramirez going early on, they'll have a good chance against the mighty Bulldogs.
Yes. But then again, no, it can't just only be Louis Ramirez
Yep.
racking up points for Perpetual, especially now na he's in the back line.
Yeah, noticeably here Austria has yet to attack the ball, and here he is winning that joust at the net.
Good
And
read
getting
there
that
by Louis Ramirez.
Yeah, just letting that ball sail out.
Yes.
That's visibly out. And early on, Perpetual looking good against the Bulldogs. Let's not forget that they
Yes.
only had one loss in the tournament, so
Yes.
they're not far off as far as records is concerned. Miscommunication on the part of Bulldogs and an easy
Free
over.
ball.
Chance ball for Perpetual. Will they capitalize? Ramirez from the back row, but Tsumagi was there for the save. Budin blocked, but that's good.
Yes. Goes out.
Yeah, either way you can get a point, especially now in the semifinals, you'll
Yes.
take it. So that's the second point for Mikel Budin in this set. The leading scorer for NU in this tournament.
Oh,
Unfortunately, that
service
service
error.
did not sail across the net. Seems like NU is feeling some nerves early in
Yes,
this first set,
that's
which is very,
possible.
very uncharacteristic for a championship
Yeah.
squad like them. So if
When
we are going,
yeah.
we're going to discuss NU, by the way.
Mhm.
Are there any kinks in their armor? I mean, they haven't lost yet,
Wow.
and there's no kink in the attack by Mukaba there. But if
Yes.
there's one weakness that Perpetual can exploit and take this victory, what are those weaknesses that we can notice from their game?
Probably Perpetual activating all their attackers in front, especially pag tatlo yung attackers sa harap. And, you know, di naman like all the time na nababasa ng blockers ng NU who's gonna, so it's important for the setter, to play around with the attacks.
Yeah, nice save there on the part of Ramirez,
Wow.
but blocked again
What a
is
block.
Austria, courtesy of Jiao.
Jiao just dominating over Austria there.
Hey, just using his height.
Yes.
Choi Diao. Austria had nowhere to go with that attack. And we are now tied at 7, despite the early lead by Perpetual. Bulldogs trying to show
Good
their
pass.
championship form already. Austria one more time, a tip. Saved by Retamar. Malinis to Budin.
Net.
That's a point for NU.
Yes. Again, it's this small errors that's pretty crucial in this match.
That's why we go to our first technical timeout. NU up 8-7.
We are still coming to you live from the Paco Arena for the semifinals of our men's division. It's the NU Bulldogs versus the Perpetual Help Altas. Tanungan ng karamihan, which team is hungrier to bag a slot in the finals? A while ago, Obed Mukaba of the NU Bulldogs told me, we want to do our best and play like this is our last. Meanwhile, team captain Joshua Retamar is still recovering from a foot injury that he sustained 2 weeks ago. But this won't stop him and his team now from giving it their all for the Altas naman. Team Captain Louie Ramirez said, excitement at hindi pressure ang baon namin for today's match. And I think obvious naman yan sa energy ng team nila coming into the Paco Arena today. Sabi raw ni Coach Sammy sa kanila, ang pinakamasarap talunin ay ang team na laging nananalo. That's why we can also expect nothing but the best from the Altas today. Lawrence and Marge.
Maraming salamat, Mika Madrid, the third member of our broadcast panel for this game. And just as Mika was updating us with what's happening, Louie Ramirez with a successful back row attack for Perpetual. On deck to serve for the Altas, JC and Narciso, their setter. Good serve for Narciso, and that's an over reception. Another opportunity for Perpetual to score. And Mateo goes through the block.
Yes.
Yeah. So narinig natin kanina, Marge, dun sa report ni Mika,
Yeah.
two contrasting mentalities for these teams. Mahirap nga namang ding kalaban for the part of NU. Mahirap
Yes.
kalaban yung walang pressure na koponan eh. Talking
Yes,
about Perpetual.
Definitely.
And it shows here early on as we check out that kill block by Medalla and Austria. And the emotions and the enthusiasm and energy high on the side of Perpetual
Yes,
early on.
definitely. Like even us here on this side of the court, ramdam mo yun yung energy ng Perpetual is
Oo.
just really high today.
Yeah, even their bench has been cheering from the
Yes.
get-go. Austria with a tip, but that was saved by Malinis. Middle attack by Diao. Nice diving save rather by Pepito. Mateo with an attack, but that was saved by the Bulldogs. Diao set the net, won by Almendras.
Mendes just powerfully no, tipping the ball sa hands and sa arms ng blockers ng Perpetual.
Yeah, just using the gap on the
Yes.
blockers of Perpetual. Let's not forget also Almendras, one of the stars of the Bulldogs, led the Bulldogs in scoring against San Beda. 13 points. Austria combination play.
Then again, like this is what I was saying kanina, no? Once yung activating all the attackers na tong Perpetual is what's gonna, at least make it difficult for NU.
Yeah, if NU has a collection of scorers, it would take everyone also
Yes.
for Perpetual to hopefully slay the Bulldogs and book a ticket to the finals. On deck to serve, Hero Austria.
Good pass.
Retamar sends it to Almendras. And that's a
Net
point for the
violation.
Bulldogs.
I think this is the fourth point, no? Na net called on na net violation itong Perpetual.
Yeah, it could be nerves showing on the part of the Altas, but they cannot afford to give a lot of points for NU
Yes,
because they can just turn it up a notch
definitely.
and dominate towards the latter part of the shot usually. Samantala, isang error ulit para dito kay Nico Almendras naman and gives Perpetual a 2-point advantage, 12 serving 10 here in the middle part of set number 1. Michael Medalla serving for Perpetual. A good serve for Medalla using the net. Retamar sends it to Budin. Attack by Budin, dug by Narciso. Austria sends it to Ramirez. A good opportunity here for the Bulldogs. Budin once again, dug by Austria, saved by Narciso. And an easy
Free
over by the
ball.
Altas. Can NU capitalize? Budin, one more try.
Wow. Difficult angle, definitely. Medyo pa-out na yung, medyo sumobra na yung set sa kanya, but he was still able to hit that ball really well.
Yeah, it seems like if there's a fall away in basketball,
Yeah.
parang fall away na rin yung
Yeah.
ginawa ni Budin doon eh. He was far away from the ball and had to make the most out of that attack, and yet he was successful. A push by Medalla, no. And an attack by Ramirez, doing something out of nothing.
And that's what NU needs to avoid, no? Like giving those kinds of balls.
Yeah.
Especially na Louie Ramirez, we all know he's very aggressive when he's in the front line.
Yeah. Parang kay Louie Ramirez, walang pangit na bola. No? Kahit
Basta
ano yan,
tumaas,
oh.
bahala na siya.
Basta iangat mo,
Oo.
papaluin niya yan eh. That's the specialty of the house for Louie Ramirez. Meantime,
Again,
Budin
Budin.
responds. We are having a duel here between Ramirez and Budin in the middle part of set number 1. That's why the score is tight. 12 serving 13. Altas ahead by 1. On deck to serve is Kenry Malinis from Bogo, Cebu. Austria with the first ball. And Narciso, a nice quick attack. That's Andrade, Casey Andrade on the part of Perpetual. Let's check it out one more time. Naiwan yung si Mukaba doon.
Yes. And wala ding sumabay sa kanya to help out in blocking.
And given the height advantage of NU,
Yes.
Perpetual should also have a conscious effort to do more quick attacks to negate that advantage. As we check out that quick attack also
Bawi daw si Mukaba
by
from that
Obed
block.
Mukaba. Oo, kasi naiwan siya kanina.
Yes.
Quick to respond, Obed Mukaba, their import, and only 19 years old rather. Itong si Obed Mukaba. So he has a bright future with this NU squad. Budin, jump serve.
Powerful serve.
Powerful serve, but a nice dig by Pepito. And an even better attack for Andrade.
What a beautiful set.
Yeah, beautiful set. And also credit half the
Yes.
point to the libero of Perpetual, itong si Pepito. Who has been excellent for the Altas all tournament long. 15 serving 13. Andrade serving. But that
Goes
ball
out.
sails out. So if not for those errors, net touches, service errors, there's a chance that Perpetual's lead could have been bigger.
Yes, probably.
Obed Mukaba serving for National University. First best middle blocker nung nakaraang Spikers Turf Open Conference. And a 1-2 play by Narciso.
Yung mga ganung plays ng setter talaga catches the opponent off guard.
Yeah, and that play by Narciso sends us to our second technical timeout. Perpetual still up 16. We are 2 technical timeouts down in set number 1, and Perpetual continues to rises to the challenge against NU in this semifinal matchup of the V-League 2022 Challenge Cup Men's Volleyball Tournament. So even though NU doing its best, it's still Perpetual that is up. What are the Altas rather doing right? That's why they have this slim advantage.
Well, for one, no, yun nga, yung sabi ko, yung paikot ng bola sa players nitong itong si NRC, so that's really giving it medyo difficult for NU to read. Kasi syempre, daming tumatalon eh. Hindi mo alam kung sinong babantayan mo.
But at that sequence, that attack by Ramirez goes wide. That's why NU trims the lead. It's just 1 point separating both squads, NU and Perpetual. Team captain Retamar with the service. And
Good
that's an
serve.
ace. But you have to credit also the effort of Pepito that time. It's just that Narciso was not quick on the second ball. So sabi nga kanina sa report ni Mika, Retamar is still nursing a foot injury. But even though he is not 100%, he continues to be a deadly threat for NU.
Yes.
Net touch on the part of NU this time gives a point to the Altas.
But compared to the previous game nitong NU, mas it seems na mas nakakagalaw si Retamar, no?
So siguro yung previous game, sabi natin 70% good si Retamar, ngayon na 80. But still, you'll take it. And he sets up Jao with that quick attack. At tabla tayo sa 17. Check that out one more time. NU, Retamar, team captain, knows that they have the edge in terms of the net defense and also net attacks. Kaya naman yun ang pinapagana nila that time. Almendras with a serve. And Narciso to Ramirez, swiping it. But that's
That goes
long.
out, yes.
And they're still having this effort of activating Ramirez wherever he is on the court. That's why Coach Sammy Akailar will be forced to call time. Let's listen in.
Play natin. Dito ang play natin Okay. Mag-sacrifice ka, pupunta ka rito. Dito ang sakripiso ka. Block, papalo ka ng likod. Ikaw naman, papalo ka dito. B. Sino pupunta rito? Diba dito ka? O dito ka ha? Nandito si alam nyo na yung kung sino. So, pasahan nyo na lang muna. Pasahan nyo muna, okay? Sige.
So basically, we have their coach Sammy telling his players kung ano yung play na gagawin nila the next time they pass. And of course, to start with a good pass, to be able to execute the play that he had just established for the players to do.
Yeah, as always, Coach Sammy Akailar, whenever he goes on a huddle, he imparts specific wisdom to his players. And when you know that a game is important, when Coach Sammy is on the sidelines for the Altas, and this is a big game, a big testament for Perpetual if they are to win. And Ramirez this time successful off an attack.
Just finding the blocker's arms. Kita mo, 3-man block na against Ramirez, but he was still able to be successful with that attack.
Di niya na sinubukan yung mahabang palo.
Yes.
This time, he went for a softer attack and that one scores a point. 18-all ang ating talaan. And the adjustment in mid-air by Almendras, but that was dug by the back row defenders of Perpetual. Another attack for Almendras.
Powerful attack.
Too strong para kay Hero Austria yung atake na yun. Nico Almendras, check it out one more time. A fake by Diao serving as the decoy. And Almendras just powerful with that hit. And again, NU, it takes all of them to remain undefeated in this game because they've had a variety of players of the game in the roster. Sometimes it's Mokaba, sometimes it's Retamar, also Budin at times, and even Kenry Malinis had its share of player of the game.
Good block timing there by Mokaba.
Mokaba this time quick on his reflexes with that block at the middle. And NU now the advantage. They have a 2-point lead, 20 serving 18. Choi Diao from Bayawan, Negros Oriental with the serve. And that's a good serve for Diao. And Narciso goes to Ramirez.
Wow. Ramirez just really evading the blockers of NU.
Yeah, let's check that replay one more time. Andrade was able to freeze Mokaba. And that fake sets up that hit for Louis Ramirez. But again, for Perpetual, si Ramirez lang yung consistent so far for the Altas, and they need to have more attackers to deliver points if they are to defeat the Bulldogs. But that is a miss-hit.
Yes. The bad contact coming from Budin.
Oh, rinig mo sa bola yun Nasa pailalim yung kanyang pagpalo doon ni Michelo Budin.
Going back to Ramirez, just only one who is consistent here, the thing is, the other players of Perpetual needs to step up kasi at some point mauubos din itong si Ramirez.
Yeah. And first referee Erlindo Eusebio calling the point for NU, much to the dismay of the Altas. Itong si Narciso calling an illegal attack on the part of the Bulldogs. That's why assistant coach Michael Carino furious to our second referee. And our two referees now conferring with each other because this is a pivotal point in this set. Because both teams are already at the 20-point mark. And whoever gets this point will have a good advantage, slight advantage that is, to take the first set. Coach Eusebio calming everybody, but the point still goes for the Bulldogs. So just to clarify, Marge, what exactly is Perpetual complaining about in that sequence?
They were actually complaining for an illegal attack, but the referee still called it good.
Yeah, and in that sequence though, ball don't lie, as they say in sport. That attack by Budin sails out, and that trims the lead. Or rather, we're tied at 21. So tense moments here in the opening set between Perpetual and NU.
What's interesting about both teams now, whenever they commit errors, they're quick to get back, Like, Kumbaga, hindi na nila pinapalagpas na dumagdag pa yung errors or yung points ng kalaban bago sila makabalik.
Yeah, as we check out that 1-2 play once again by Retamar, that's the sign of the championship pedigree for both teams, I guess. Their ability to respond off
Yes.
adversity. And that time, Retamar was quick to respond with that 1-2 play. Almost an ace there,
Yes.
but that was saved by Ramirez. Retamar, who does he go to? To Almendras. Ramirez was there, but the point goes to NU.
Another net violation called on Perpetual.
Yeah, that's one too many net touch
Yes.
errors for Perpetual. And to calm the nerves of the Altas, Coach Sammy will call for time. Let's listen in.
23, NU.
Napabayaan mo lang sa kanya, dito ka, oh, di ba? O, tinitingnan mo, kunin mo, kaya nga libero ka eh. Sa iyo yan, di ba? Okay. Tandaan nyo, yung isa dyan, ito nasa maliit. Bahala siya sa straight. Ikaw dito diagonal, okay? Ready? Hindi man pwede bawat isa sa inyo eh, puro mali-mali. Dapat tayo nakaangat ng angat lahat. Okay? Sige. Ito ang play ha. Dito si ano, yung isa.
Bukaba.
Diba?
Tamar. Tamar, Bukaba.
Mag-fake ka, saan ka?
Diyan sa likod, dulo.
Dito siya oh. In between. Ha? Taas mo lang ang bola sa kanya.
Okay, sige.
Yeah, Coach Sammy reminding the Altas to be quick with their reflexes because the Bulldogs getting 2 quick points off an error and also an attack. Especially now that they still have a chance to save this set.
Yes.
NU at 23, but the Altas not far behind at 21. In the meantime, back to live action, Budin with a jump serve. In Narciso, goes to Ramirez, back row attack, but that was blocked.
No
That
one
block
was
goes
there
in.
to
Yes.
cover for the attack.
It's parang ang bagal nung pagbaba ng
Yes.
ball. And that
Medyo
Ramirez,
nag-slow mo nga.
napanood pa rin Ramirez yung pagbaksak. Much to his dismay, and that puts NU at set point. Budin serving for the National University Bulldogs. Another jump serve for Budin.
But that
This
goes
time,
out.
that too strong. That's a set point save for the Altas. They're not out of this set yet because they need just 2 points to force a juice. Palitan ng tao sa panig ng Altas. And Narciso will go out. Yeah, the setter goes out. And Zereno checks in. So this is an interesting substitution on the part of Altas.
I guess it's more of a substitution for added blocking.
And as far as blocking is concerned, Mukaba, no problems with their attack
Yes.
there. Tinapos niya kagad ang set number 1 of that quick attack of the middle. And because of that attack by Obed Mukaba, we end the first set with NU taking it 25-20. We expected a great semifinals showdown. That's why after set number 1, after that tightly contested set, it's NU taking the opening frame 25-22 as we check out some of the highlights from the opening frame. Marge, lumaban naman yung Perpetual. It's just that
Yes.
towards the end, that fantastic ball distribution by Retamar was too much for the Altas.
And to add din, no, it's the small unforced errors nitong Perpetual which was, that took that set away from them.
Yeah, one too many net touch infractions
Yes.
for the Altas. Could have altered the complexion of the opening set if they had less of it. As we will check out the numbers from the opening set. Take it away, Marge.
So when we look at the stats, no, if you look at, hindi ganun tabla sila when it comes to opponent's errors, no, but the attacks almost the same, but of course we go back to blocking. Talagang NU, we know how NU is when it comes to their systemized blocking.
Yeah, let's not forget, during the quarterfinal match of NU against San Beda, they had a 7-1 edge in kill blocks against the Red
Yes.
Spikers. So that's a testament to how tough their net defense is. And that's something that Perpetual has to break continuously if they are to win a set, if not the match, against the formidable Bulldogs. As we welcome you to set number 2, Lawrence Fernandez with Marge Tejada bringing you the semifinal action between the Perpetual Altas and the NU Bulldogs. Diao with an attack. Nahagip pa ni Austria yun.
Yes.
And I guess, aside from being quick on the reflexes, Coach Sammy Akailar would also like his players to be more decisive, especially with
Yes.
those digs.
Of course, definitely. Kumbaga, pag inisip mo na to commit on that
Yep.
ball, you just put your 100% to it. Kasi syempre, in this game, you can't have mga half-hearted actions.
Tama. And that time, no hesitation there on the part of the team captain of the Altas, Louis Ramirez, getting the first point for the Altas. And despite losing that opening set, the energy from the Altas bench is still at a
Yes.
high. They're egging on their teammates. And that ball sails out. First referee, Erlindo Eusebio, calling the second referee, wanting to make sure that they get the call right, especially in a tightly contested semifinal matchup.
Yes.
And they also called one of the linesmen just to verify if the ball is either in or out.
Medyo dikit nga actually yung bola dun sa line.
Yeah, lalo kapag mabilis yung aksyon, ano?
Yes.
Hindi mo makikita kaagad eh. That's why you need more eyes to be able to come up with a proper verdict. So that time, first referee calling the point for the Altas. 2 serving 1. Medallia
Good
serving.
pass.
Retamar goes to Budin.
This time successful when it comes to attack.
Yung angulo kanina, mahirap eh. This time,
Yes.
it's a sharp cross-court attack. Bullseye to zone number 5.
So far, effective yung fake approach ng NU middle blockers na nakuha nila yung middle blockers ng Perpetual, leaving it open for the NU openers.
But at that time, one of the rare instances of an error for NU, net touch infraction for the Bulldogs. And just like what you mentioned, gumagana yung decoy sa gitna.
Yes.
That's a good effort for Retamar to involve Mukaba and also Diao in the
Yes.
opening set. An attack by Budin, off the block and good.
Yes.
Talagang pinopersa na lang ito si Michaelo Budin yung mga atake niya eh.
Malaki din naman kasi yung blocker niya sa harap.
Oo. Michaelo Budin, Finals MVP nung nakaraang Spikers Surf Open Conference. Meanwhile, malinis with the serve. Austria, back row attack, block, Mukaba.
Good timing there by Mukaba.
Seems like Obed Mukaba saw that play coming.
Yes.
Let's check it out one more time. Narciso, back row attack, Austria. And that height by Obed Mukaba, stopping that forceful attack from Iro, Austria. So far in this game, Austria hasn't done much as
Yes.
compared to their team captain, Louis Ramirez. Quick attack by Andrade gives a point for the Altas.
Ito, umikot na si Austria. So let's see if, he would be able to step up when it comes to the front line.
Especially in this game, he will be
Yes.
much needed against the Bulldogs. In the meantime, Ramirez with a jump serve. Retamar goes to Budin once again.
Clean hit from Budin there.
Kapag ganyan yung setter mo, no, sarap maglaro ng volleyball.
Yes.
Kaya naman ginaganahan si Budin. Ayan. Napakasimple ng volleyball kay Retamar. Evidently, the springs from Retamar not there because of the foot injury that he is nursing. And yet, he is still effective
Yes.
shooting the ball to the open spiker. And here he is again. Back set this time to Mukaba.
Beautiful back wake by Mukaba.
Again, the variation of attacks for NU. Very much evident. That's why Mukaba had nothing else to do but that's what the ball to the other side.
Parang kung ako yung spiker, tapos hindi ko pa siya naipuntos, parang ako yung mahihiya, no?
Mahihiya ka, lalo team captain eh. No? Pero sa puntong yun, mahihiya ng konti si Mikel Budin sa mga kakampi niya after that service error.
So far, no, medyo nag-add up yung service errors na kinocommit nito ni Budin.
Yeah, that's why even though NU seemingly having the momentum, Perpetual is not far behind. And again, an attack by Almendras. That good attack rather by Nico Almendras brings them to 7. Perpetual is at 5. Obed Mukaba on deck to serve for NU. Jump serve for Mukaba. That's a sharp serve. Pepito was there though, and a nice attack converted by Medalla.
So far, NU hasn't been able to stop itong quick attacks nitong Perpetual.
Tama. At yun yung kailangan din ng Perpetual because if you allow NU to set their net defense, may hirapan ka talagang durugin yan.
Definitely.
In Narciso, nagbabalik sa action with the service. Retamar sets it, but that was blocked.
There's actually a pretty low setup for Almendras sa open, but I guess yun yung play nila. So, no.
Yeah, huling-huli ni Mateo yung atake na yun. And also at that sequence, very evidently, Retamar somewhat favoring one of his foot. And a difficult angle for Almendras, back-to-back errors. And that's a 3-0 run for the Altas, bringing us to our first technical timeout. Perpetual up 8-7. Just 1 point separating both teams after the first technical timeout of set number 2. But let's listen to more updates from courtside, courtesy of Mika Madrid.
Lawrence and Marge always go back to the basics. Yan nga raw ang payo ni Coach Dante sa NU Bulldogs when they're up against another strong team like the Altas. And now that they're up by 1 set against their opponent, team captain Joshua Retamar wants to see more maturity from his teammates dahil yun daw ang magdadala sa kanila until the very end of today's match. At aminado naman si Coach Dante na talaga namang pinaghandaan daw sila ng Altas. Kaya sabi niya, kung anumang bago ang gagawin nitong Altas, mag-a-adjust agad kami para makontrol agad namin ang bola. At ang huling paalala naman niya, huwag maging kampante and keep your eyes on the goal because no two games are the same. Lawrence and Marge?
Yeah, maraming salamat Mika Madrid. And as Mika was sharing that update, an adjustment on the part of Almendras, that attack goes off the block and a score for NU. But let's discuss it. Back to basics for the Bulldogs. Yung kanilang mga service errors kanina allowed Perpetual, but we checked out that ace at first. But those errors earlier in this set allowed Perpetual to take that lead after the first technical timeout.
Yeah, that's the thing. But then again, no, like what we were saying, they commit these errors, but then they're able to, bounce back after that. And then, as I was saying,
And
that
just
they
as you
commit an
mentioned it,
error.
We apologize to the NU community.
For calling that out, I am sorry.
Yeah, seems like there's a speaker on the part of the NU bench hearing Marge Tejada at that time. But yeah, to your point, it doesn't take long for
Yes.
NU to bounce back when they commit a series of errors. And
Yes.
again, that after that service error, that back row attack by Budin is good. Check that out one more time. Another decoy on the part of Choi Jiao. Opens up the lane rather for Budin, and Almendras on deck to serve for the Bulldogs.
Oh,
And that's an ace. Yeah.
Misread there by Pepito.
Almendras just clipping that sideline. It's a small target, small
Yes.
zone to target that is. That time Almendras found that spot. 11 serving 9. Almendras once again. But Pepito was there for the reception.
Miscommunication.
Yeah. That's why an easy over for Ramirez instead. Triple block for Perpetual.
Still
But the
up.
Bulldogs giving chase. Easy over for the Bulldogs. The Altas trying to respond. And Narciso once more time goes to Mateo.
Mateo being able to break through the blockers of National University.
Yeah, and also a great back set for Narciso.
And it's a good thing. I mean, yung hit ni Mateo, nakita mo na he aimed for the hands of the blockers of NU.
Yeah, itong si Mateo trying his best to rally the troops for Perpetual. 10 serving 11. Retamar to Budin. Malakas ang palo this time. Hindi gumana yung triple block ng Perpetual doon.
Yes. Like what Mateo did in that previous point, ginawa din ni Budin. Tinarget niya yung kamay ng blockers naman
Kinausap
itong
niya si
Perpetual.
Mateo. Hindi lang ikaw yung pwedeng gumawa ng ganyan. Mikaela Budin can also do that. On deck to serve, Choi Jiao for NU. In Narciso, who does he go to? Combination play by Ramirez.
Good delay attack there by Ramirez. Sinantay niya na bumaba muna yung blockers ng NU before he hit that ball.
Oo nga, no? That delay, allowing the blockers of NU to fall down
Yes.
first, did wonders for Louis Ramirez. And the Altas hanging on in set number 2, 11 serving 12.
Good pass.
Retamar goes to Budin once again. Ito si Budin already finding his rhythm here in set number 2. Still a tight ball game between the
Yes.
two teams. 13 serving 11 rather.
Oh,
Another service
Service
error
error.
para kay Kenry Malinis.
so for yung common errors na kinukumit ng NU is yung services nila
Oo.
no, in this match.
I mean, their advantage could have been bigger if not for those errors.
Yes.
But if NU is committing those errors, Perpetual should take advantage
Yes.
and be more aggressive with their attacks. Mukabad that time foiled. 1-2 play by Narciso, but that was stopped by the Bulldogs. Perpetual will have another try. Narciso says it to Austria. Single block! Retamar.
Single block. For someone who has an injured foot,
Okay,
really jumped that high.
let's check that sequence one more
Yes.
time. Anong foot injury ang sinasabi niyo dyan? Seems
Very
like-
well read.
Yeah, it seems like he's okay.
Yes.
If there are any foot injuries for Retamar, it was not evident
Wow,
that time
beautiful
around.
serve.
14-12 is the count. Back row attack by Ramirez. But that was over-received by the Bulldogs. Another try for Perpetual.
Another good block read
Another
by
block.
Retamar.
Yeah, it seems like Austria is being bothered by the net defense of the Bulldogs this time. And because Austria seems to be out of system, ilalabas muna siya. Papasok itong si Joshua Zareno. Pumasok din si Andrade sa panig ng Altas.
Austria is a steady player. Yun nga lang
Yeah.
talaga. In this match, he's just overpowered by the blockers nitong NU.
Yeah, and they cannot afford to give out more errors.
Yes.
If they are to knot this game at one set apiece. 13 serving 15. Medalya on deck to serve for the Altas. Diretso kay Sumagi. Retamar, second ball. Back set, Malinis.
Low
Mababa.
contact
Oo.
there for Malinis.
And again, two quick errors for NU
Yes.
allows Perpetual to catch up.
Yes, and they're just a point away.
Oo. Pero yun nga yung storya natin. They cannot wait for NU to just commit a sequence of errors
Yes.
because at some point, the Bulldogs will turn it up. And just like that, joust won by Retamar.
Yes.
And that sends us to our second technical timeout. The Bulldogs still up 16-14. Both teams still giving their all after the second technical timeout, but NU having a slight advantage, 16-14. Perpetual not far behind, but what does Perpetual have to do more to be able to surmount this NU roster?
Well, for one, no, tapatan nila yung attacks nitong NU, and of course, they have to work on their blocking din.
And also yung kanilang quick attacks na wala rin eh, para din sa
Yes.
panig ng Altas eh.
Oo. Tsaka lately, it's just been Ramirez in the front and in the back. You know?
Yeah. Kahit kapag na-overload na ganyan si Ramirez, it would be easier for NU to read those attacks.
Wow!
At kapag
Rare
nakascore
attack!
ng ganyan, ang setter mo, galit na galit si Narciso.
Yes.
Let's check that sequence one more time. That bump set by Medalla.
Yes. And if you check, he's not one of the tall players of Perpetual.
Indeed.
Nagulat din yung NU doon na biglang pumalo si Narciso.
Yeah, definitely they were caught off guard that time. But NU responds quickly with that attack as well. 17 serving 15. Bulldogs up 2. Team captain Joshua Retamar on deck to serve. Itong si Retamar, tubong Kabuyaw, Laguna, has been a mainstay of the national team. Also with the other players of NU.
Ooh, service error.
Alang, service error yun para kay Retamar.
And at this point of the set, you can't afford to commit those kinds of unforced errors.
Yeah, especially if NU ends up losing the set by like 1 or 2 points.
Yes.
Those errors could be costly
Yes,
to their
definitely.
cause.
Again.
Kaya lang nainggit si Zareno. Oh. Hindi pwedeng ikaw lang,
Hindi
sabi niya. Oh. Idol niya yata si Retamar. Ako rin, ganun. Pero mapapatawag ng timeout dito si Coach Sammy. Talk things over. Let's listen in.
Dito, sino to?
Diaw, Budin.
Sa atin.
Ako Michael Glenn. Si Louis.
Oh, si ito, patrasin mo. Atras ka para porsyento ka, ikaw mag-back quick ka. Okay, ito si mag-fake siya pero 3 siya. Okay, may pumapalo sa atin ha. So magko-cover tayo. Pasahan. Go.
So as always, no, when it comes to sa timeout, Coach Shami just maximizing that, telling his players on how they're going to attack this next point.
Yeah, a timeout could be like 90 seconds at most.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever you hear Coach Sammy Akailar discuss during a timeout, seems like he has covered all bases already.
Yes.
And that the clarity of communication has helped Perpetual to stay within striking distance against the NU Bulldogs. 18-16 is the count.
Ace.
And that's an ace for Nico Almendras. The Altas thought otherwise, but our linesman signaled that the ball was in. And this is now a 3-point lead for the Bulldogs. Almendras once again to serve. Straight to
Good
Pepito
pass.
and Narciso. Ramirez once again.
And that hits the line.
Yeah, that hits the line for Ramirez. At nakita niya yung puwang na yun
Yes.
dun sa depensa ng NU.
Malaki-laki nga yung And it pays to have a good court vision. No?
Yeah.
Especially if you're one of the players na inaasahan ng team mo.
Yeah. Yeah, court vision plus that high leaping ability for Ramirez makes him one of the better players in this tournament. And another block for Perpetual. Third try for the Bulldogs. Will it be it? This time, soft touch is good for Budin.
Sabi ni Budin, hindi nag-work yung first 2 attacks ko. Sige, uhulog ko. And that's a good thing, no? Na he switches up the way he attacks.
Yeah, that's why he defeated that triple block by the Altas. Talking about Michaelo Budin. 20 serving 17, Choi Diao serving the ball for the Bulldogs.
Good pass.
In Narciso, back set, Mateo. And that's good for Mateo. Ano si Mateo, bihirang puntahan,
Yes.
but when he attacks,
Yes.
he delivers.
Pumupuntos.
Oo. So they ought to do more of that if Perpetual is to overhaul this deficit. Change in personnel on the part of the Altas. And Narciso comes out and Codinera comes in. Number 9, Chian Codinera. Mateo serving.
Good pass.
Retamar goes to Budin once again.
Really spiking it out, you know, sa hindi pa harap yung palo niya palabas.
Yun yung tipo ng palo na either it goes out or it goes
Yes.
through. High percentage attack there for Michaelo Budin. That's why he has been the man of the moment for the NU so far. Ramirez was blocked that time. And Perpetual will send the ball over. Sumagi with an easy first ball. Retamar to Mukaba, but that was stopped by Ramirez. And that's a point for Perpetual.
Yes.
Good anticipation on the part of Louis Ramirez. Yeah, huli niya si Mukaba doon. At hindi niya na pinaset up yung depensa ng NU.
Yes. Quick thinking din ni Ramirez doon.
Yeah. Ramirez doing everything for Perpetual to be able to save this set, hopefully.
Wow, but that
Again,
attack
Budin.
goes in.
Oo. Nakuha na ni Budin yung, ano niya, yung laro niya.
Yes.
And that would be deadly for Perpetual. Because if Budin is activated, NU has a lot more stars
Yes.
to attack. So that's trouble for Perpetual if they cannot neutralize the attack
Good
of Budin.
pass.
Ito naman, susubok ang Altas, but that was blocked by Mukaba.
Again, no, NU's blocking system.
Yeah. And that kill block forces Coach Sammy to call time. Let's listen in.
So malalaki ang kalaban. Yan sila. So ano gagawin mo? Bakit sa kanya? Gilid-gilid para mag-check. Dito ganun din. Gilid-gilid para mag-check. Huwag doon sa gitna. Wala tayong magagawa ko na sa gitna. Di ba? Okay, unless na may cover sa atin. Tulad kanina, may pumapalo. Walang nag-cover. Ikaw, nakalusot ang bola sa'yo dito. Pero practice natin ang blocking na dapat lalabas at lalabas talaga, di ba? O, di ba, habulin natin yan. Malayo.
Yeah, Coach Sammy reminding the Altas to be wiser with their attacking, not letting it through because NU's net defense is already gaining ground here in the second set. Ngayon sabi niya, hanapan ng anggulo, wag
Yes.
diretso. Kailangan paanggulo yung atake.
Saka, ni-reminded niya yung players niya, you know, when someone is attacking from your team, you cover for them.
Yes, very important at that. If
And sobrang important ng coverage kasi siyempre you're up against a team who really blocks well.
It also gives you second or third tries if you have fantastic coverage, and that's what Perpetual needs, especially in this part of the set where in
Yes.
NU needing just 2 points to close it out. But the Alta saving 1 point off that service error. 20 serving 23. Serving is Casey Andrade mula Altavas, Aklan. Sumagi with the first ball. Retamar shoots it to Almendras. Triple block is there. And the point goes to the Altas. That's 4 touches. Much to the dismay of Almendras. Pero evidently, Marge, hindi talaga lumusot yung bola.
Hindi talaga.
Palitan ulit ng tao sa panig ng Perpetual. Lalabas si Andrade at papasok si Renz Engay. Outside hitter, galing Paranaque. At diretso siya sa service area. Engay, good serve. Diretso kay Almendras. Retamar goes to Almendras once again.
Powerful attack. This time he made sure na, no, this ball will go in.
May kasama ng frustration doon sa kanyang atake kaninang hindi lumusot.
Yes.
This time, putting all his power behind that attack. In the meantime, Mukaba goes out and Jiao goes in with him, and coming in for the Bulldogs also is Clarence Velostrino. Taga Puerto Princesa, Palawan, on deck to serve. Austria with the first ball. Narciso brings it to Austria. At ayan yung atake na hinahanap natin para kay Hero Austria. Nice fake by Medalla.
Yes.
And Hero Austria just forcing the ball through the blockers.
Nagkatamaan ata ng tuhod. Ito si Almendras and si Austria. In that sequence.
Medyo masakit yan.
Yes.
NU is at set point though. Could they, they end the set of that
You were just
soft
about to ask if they could end it, and Choi Diao answers yes.
Just like the perpetual defense, I was also caught off guard of that
Yes.
soft tip by Choi Diao. An identical scoreline tayo from the first set. NU still taking it 25-22. Will we be back with set number 3? We check out some of the members of our crowd for today. Sizable crowd here inside the Paco Arena. But after set number 2, still the same score line, but NU still taking it. But
Yes.
Perpetual not far behind. They lost both sets by 3 points.
Yes.
So what else do they have to do? As we check out some of the highlights from the second frame, what else does Perpetual have to exert or bring more to be able to take a set away from the Bulldogs?
You know, like what I was saying when we were discussing, itong Perpetual needs to at least, you know, tapatan itong attacks nitong NU. Because you can see, no, yung attack points ng NU is just mas marami compared to NU. And yung, I mean, given na 11 errors ang NU, but then, you know, they're still able to win that set.
Yeah, surprisingly, NU had 11 errors. Despite that nugget, they still took set number 2 by 3 points, 25-22. At malaking bagay din yung mga atake ni Budin and also
Yes.
Almendras towards the end of set number 2. Unfortunately,
goes
that
out.
attack by Ramirez, despite the good intention, sails out. First blood goes to the Bulldogs here in set number 3. Needing just one set to book a ticket to the finals itong
Yes.
NU.
So let's see if Perpetual would stop NU, no? Into
sa kabilang-
getting this quick trip to the finals.
Yeah, samantala, Perpetual, tough mountain to climb if they are to save this game. And a soft tip by Ramirez off that ricochet kay
Medyo,
Malinis.
medyo na-confuse si Malinis. Hinanap niya yung bola where it went.
Ito yun na, naging out of system na yung
Yes.
depensa ng NU doon. Andrade taking advantage, finding that open zone. At makakatabla ang Perpetual dito, one apiece. Yun yung kailangan siguro ng Perpetual to defeat NU, being quicker
Yes.
to the ball, being more aggressive.
Wow.
Speaking of aggressiveness, that's an emphatic attack off the middle.
And no one was there to block sa side ng Perpetual.
Yeah, gulat din yung Altas doon.
Yes.
Sobrang bilis ng mga pangyayari. Retamar to Diao that quickly. 2-1. Almendras on deck to serve for the Bulldogs. Soft serve by Almendras. Derecho kay Austria. Ramirez with an attack through the block and good.
Ang laki talaga nung attack percentage nitong si Ramirez, no. Whenever Narciso gives him the ball, parang yung chance na mag-error or hindi niya mapupunta is mababa lang.
The height of his jump and also court
Yes.
vision, all doing good.
Yes.
And a kill block, single block that time for Mateo. So Mateo has been a bright spot for
Yes.
Perpetual all game long.
Actually, that was a point for NU, no?
Oh, unfortunately, that's a point for the Bulldogs rather. At ito, palitan din ng tao sa panig ng Perpetual. Clint Rosos, one of the bright spots also for Perpetual in their last game, had 7 points in their quarterfinal match against Arellano. Attack by Budin, good.
Pepito was not able to cover that zone 6 ng court nila.
Tsaka parang ang laki nung zone na kailangan
Yes.
i-cover ni Pepito that time. Because
Oo.
basically that's zone 5 and zone 6
Yes.
that he has to man. This is a 2-point advantage for the Bulldogs. 4 serving 2, Jiao serving. And Narciso one-hand set.
Net violation called an Narciso again.
And the Altas are crumbling here in set number 3 early on.
So far, no, medyo nagbe-build up na din yung net errors called on Narciso. And just Narciso himself.
The Altas have to regroup because it
Good
won't be
pass.
long before the Bulldogs can end this game. Rosos this time, middle attack. Nice diving save by Mukaba and an easy over by Retamar. Good opportunity for Perpetual to score. Who does Narciso go to? Ramirez, soft tip. Nice adjustment by Louis Ramirez.
Yes. Nakita niya na everyone in the defense side of NU na lahat sila naka-atras waiting for his powerful attack.
At nahatak din ng konti ni Rosos. Yung
Yes.
dalawang blocker doon kaya na-delay yung kanilang pagtakbo.
Yes.
3 serving 5. Ramirez, one of the few bright spots for the Altas in this game. Good jump serve for Ramirez. Retamar goes to Budin. Soft tip as well, but Austria was waiting. In Narciso to Austria. Yan
That
lang,
goes out.
lihis yung palo niya.
Yes.
Austria calling for a check, but none given by our first referee, Erlindo Eusebio. Could it be Austria feeling the nerves of this high-stakes game? That's why he's not at par with his previous performances.
That's possible. And probably nahirapan din siya, going up against tall blockers.
Kaya naman din si Rosos nahirapan din palusutin yung atake
Yes.
niya doon. A kill block on the part of Obed Mukaba. And that umbrella defense by NU
Yes.
giving them their 7th point. Perpetual stuck at 3. Almendra sends it to Pepito. And Narciso back row attack again by Ramirez.
Ramirez just flying
Oo.
in that attack there.
Sabi, kitang-kita mo yung taas ng talon ni
Yes.
Ramirez yan eh. Let's check it out one more time. His spike was already above Mukaba, and Mukaba is a tall
Yes.
player. That's an understatement. So that's how high the jump of Ramirez is.
Wow. Quick attack there by Budin.
High percentage naman itong atake
Yes.
ni Budin. And it's all NU early on in set number 3. They are up 4, 8-4. First technical timeout. The Bulldogs imposing their will over the Altas. They take the first technical time out of set number 3, 8-3. And let's hear more updates from our courtside reporter, Mika Madrid.
Lawrence and Marge, everything happens for a reason. Yan daw ang sinasabi ni Coach Sammy of the Perpetual Help Altas when they're faced with a tough situation. Now with NU's 2-set lead, he wants everybody from his team and not just Ramirez to take on a leadership role inside the court. Sabi niya, it's all about discipline. And if only everybody could stay focused no matter what happens, we can recover without a doubt. Aminado rin siyang may psychological effect daw sa team pag nakukuhanan sila ng set ng kalaban, putting an emphasis on how important focus should be. Back to you guys.
Yeah, maraming salamat Mika Madrid for that update on Perpetual. And just before set number 3, we noticed also, Marge, that Coach Sammy was already furious on the sideline
Yeah.
because they are down 2 sets already, and he was really rallying his troops.
Yes. It just,
Yeah,
sorry.
Go ahead.
It just shows to how important this game is for Coach Sammy.
Indeed. Yeah, spot on din yung sinabi ni Mika na it's not just Ramirez that will carry them against the Bulldogs. Bulldogs have a lot of attackers, a lot of options. So kailangan nilang pantayan yung dami ng attacker na yan ng NU.
And that's what we've been saying since the first set, no? Like even before the match started, na someone else has to, step up in this game, and it's not just Ramirez.
Yeah, and that time Austria got blocked by Mokaba. But before that block, 3 straight points by Perpetual. Let's check that block one more time. That's Mokaba and Retamar collaborating on that kill block. So it's now 9 serving 6. Obed Mokaba on deck to serve for the Bulldogs. Strong serve by Mokaba, and that's an ace. I mean, the mechanics of Mokaba might not be the best looking, but it works. That's all you need in the game. And he has that swagger as he goes to the service area. Siyempre, pag pumapasok yung ganyang mga service mo, you'll have some swagger to repeat it. This time, he goes through the net. And Narciso sets it to Ramirez.
Again, Ramirez just flying in that attack.
Yeah, kahit nasa back row, si Ramirez pa rin ang pinupuntahan talaga ng Perpetual.
Parang walang pinagkaiba yung front row and back row attack niya. But then again, kailangan talaga magpaikot ng bola itong Perpetual.
Kailangan magpaikot ng bola, and they have to find more attackers, more bright spots.
And then, Retomar catching the defense of Perpetual off guard there.
And let's hope that it won't be too disheartening for the Altas, because if the setter also scores, that could have an adverse effect to the team. Gaya nga nasabi ni Coach Sammy kanina sa timeout, kapag nakukuha na sila ng set, it has a negative effect. What more if the setter itself of the other squad scores in them? Almendras this time with an attack through the block and straight to the panel, mga kaibigan. NU just firing in all cylinders this time around. That time, an attack by Almendras goes through the block, and we have a timeout.
Ang bola, pumapasok dati, payungan nyo, yan ang block talaga. Pag pupunta ang bola dito, babagsak yan. Pero nakaganyan kayo, pwede pumasok dito, pwede pumasok sa court natin. Tatlo na nga nakablock, lumusot pa sa atin, di ba? Okay? Sige, di bale. Okay lang yan. So, sanay tayo humabol. Pabuli natin yan. Pero kailangan copy talaga yan, ha?
Let's go.
Cheer up kasi, masyado na kayo na ano.
So we have Coach Sammy there, reminding how they should block. Back to blocking basics, especially if you jump high and you know you can dominate that net.
Yeah,
You just have to, really penetrate your hands over the net. Well, of course, avoiding getting called a net touch.
and aside from the blocking mechanics that Coach Sammy reminded them, it really looks like Perpetual is playing tight in this game.
Yes.
Unlike earlier in the first 2 sets, they were playing loose, playing energetic,
Yes.
but quick scores like those
Yes.
from Choi Diao of NU. As we check out that replay, it adds to the disheartening factor that
Yes.
Perpetual might be feeling at this point.
And medyo ramdam mo nga din medyo tense na din yung energy na binibigay nitong Perpetual compared to the first 2 sets na they were playing.
Oo nga, despite the cheering from their bench, they still are yet to surmount this advantage.
Yes.
And again, it's Ramirez delivering the goods for the Altas. It has been a one-man show relatively for Perpetual in this game. And they have to do more if they are to overhaul this 5-point deficit. Narciso with the serve. Dug by Almendras. Quick attack by Diao.
Bit low for Diao.
Ramirez susubok ulit. Dug by Retamar. Sumagi to Malinis. Or Almendras rather. Easy over by Pepito. Good opportunity for NU to pile on to their advantage. Almendras once again.
Smart attack there by Budin.
Back
Oh no,
set
rather that was Almendras.
by Retamar and Almendras using Ramirez's advantage to his favor. And NU keeps on piling the points. 14 serving 8. Austria and Narciso. Ramirez! Quick attack! Again, it's still Ramirez delivering the points for Perpetual. I mean, the Altas have been lucky that NU hasn't slowed down Ramirez. Pero kapag pati si Ramirez nabandayan nila, mahirap.
It's gonna be difficult for
Oo.
Perpetual.
So now that they're down 9, what else can they do or what else can they try to be able to bring the fight to NU?
Well, one thing, no, yun nga, paulit-ulit nating sabihin, they have to activate their other attackers as well. Kasi, yun nga, you were saying na, what if mabantayan na si Ramirez? So, what's gonna happen to Perpetual?
Yeah, that would be a difficult proposition for the
Yes.
Altas. Nawala rin yung middle attack nila eh. Samantala sa NU, ang dali ng middle attack. Just give the ball to Jiao or Obed Mukaba and let them deliver. So that's one of the facets of Perpetual's game na kailangan lang ibalik ulit, yung quick attack na yan.
Meron naman silang middle attacks, but the thing is, it's still Ramirez who's
Oo
doing
nga.
the middle attacks
Siya rin yung
there.
middle, siya rin yung back row. That time, Mateo, block
Block point.
by Budin. Budin not just attacking but also getting block points. And they are through to the second technical timeout of 16 to 10. After the second technical timeout of set number 3, NU comfortably ahead with the largest lead in this game, 16 to 10. And discussing the game of averages that is, Budin is actually the leading scorer for NU, averaging 13.1 points per game. And it seems like with the way his game has been going, he has matched, if not exceeded that number already.
Oh,
And
inside.
another ace
Yes.
on the part of NU, courtesy of Choi Diao.
So for yung mga aces ng NU, it's just falls exactly on the back line. Itong line, end line ng court ng Perpetual.
It's like a 50-50 ball. Either in or out.
Yes.
Yung maliit na gap lang na area doon sa backline yung tinatarget nila. But that has been working well for the Bulldogs so far. And Mateo also delivering a point for the Altas. Siguro nga kailangan nilang mas puntahan pa itong si Mateo.
Yung mga pasulput-sulput kasing set sa kanya, pumupuntos
Oo. To take some of the pressure of Louie Ramirez, who is now on deck serve for the Altas. Kailangan nga nila ng variation sa atake nila because if it's all Ramirez, it would be easier for NU to block it. Quick on his reflexes is Narciso there. Joust at the net, won by NU, but Perpetual will have another opportunity. Austria through the triple block. Retamar was there for the dig.
Wow.
Kenry Malinis delivers a clean hit.
Yes. Too powerful for Louie Ramirez.
Yeah, too powerful for Ramirez. Nangingiti pa si Kenry Malinis dun sa atake niya na yan.
If you look at it, no, I mean, for the past 2 sets, hindi din masyadong nasasitan to si Malinis. It's always just been Almendras and Budin. But when, given the opportunity, he's still able to deliver.
Yeah, and that's the luxury that NU has.
Yes.
yung pwedeng magpahinga si Kenry Malinis, and yet they still score.
Yes.
Again, that off-speed attack by Michaelo Budin off that bump set by Sumagi.
Yes. Again, no, ito si Budin. Talagang binavary niya yung shots niya. And it has been, um, an ace up his sleeve. And it's working.
Yeah, activating everyone on the roster. And that attack by Mateo sails out.
But it's
Or
a
rather,
point
that's a point.
for Perpetual because
A net touch.
NU, yes. NU got called on a net
Oh,
violation.
so that's a lucky break for Perpetual.
Yes.
Because that attack by Mateo clearly out. And if not for that error, that's another point for the Bulldogs. Despite that point by Perpetual, this is still a sizable 7-point advantage for NU. Mateo
Good
serving.
pass.
Retamar 1-2 play. But that was easily read by the Altas. Zareno, soft tip. And Zareno will deliver.
Yes. Almendras was there, on that soft tip. Yun nga lang, hindi niya naitaas ng maayos yung bola.
Yeah, and also at the last second, Zareno deciding to go for the soft tip
Yes.
instead of a strong attack. That delivers their 13 point. 13 serving 19. Set number 3. Mateo.
That goes out.
That service is long for Clint Mateo. And it's those errors that has kept NU's advantage this big here in set number 3. 20 serving 13. Budin with a strong serve straight to Austria. Zareno adjusts his attack.
But that goes out.
Yeah, that's a difficult angle to attack
Yes.
for Joshua Zareno. And that miss hit brings NU its 21st point, but Perpetual will press time. Let's listen in.
Kaya mo lang play. Nandiyan naman si Louie sa gitna, di ba? Pwedeng mo ibato. Kung nahirapan kang bumoto rito, ibato mo sa kanya. O itataas mo na lang ang bola. Kayo naman, kahit anong klaseng bola ang binigay sa inyo, pangit man o maganda, ano gagawin nyo? Iyaw mo ng bola. Hayaan natin sila magkamali. Hindi tayo nagkakamali. Tayo nagkakamali. Tignan ba? Go.
Unfortunately, Coach Samia Carlar is spot on because in terms of the mental aspect of this
Yes.
game, they're not in their A game. They're not
Yeah.
doing well as far as responding to the
Yes.
pressure is concerned. Kaya naman itong NU responding to their errors and building this 8-point advantage.
And we know NU is really, capable of that. No? Once they see na yung opponent nila slowly na medyo nawawalan ng energy, talagang they bank on that and use that as an opportunity to trail ahead.
Yeah, that's NU going for the kill. That's their championship mentality. But that's a good response of a timeout for the Altas. Hero Austria getting an attack point that was over-received by Kenry Malinis. 14 serving 21. Medalla serving for the Altas. Straight to Sumagi. Over reception. Zareno lets it through Retamar's hand and gets another point.
Good quick thinking there by Zareno.
Yeah, kitang-kita niya na
Yes.
regalo yun eh. Malapit na daw kasi Pasko. Kaya, ayan, binigyan ng regalo itong si Zareno and he won't be denied. But it's still a big advantage. They need 6 more points to tie the count. A
Wow.
difficult angle for
Difficult.
Almendras.
Yes.
But
So far talaga, itong open spikers ng NU, they've been targeting zone 4 or yung gitna ng zone 4 and zone 5.
yeah, precisely that intersection with the attack line. Yan yung hinahanap nila eh. No?
Yes.
They have been on point for most of their attacks, even their services.
Yes.
Finding that little zones on the back
Yes.
line. Talking about the Bulldogs, that's why they are comfortably ahead. And Belostrino comes in for the service, 22
Good
serving
pass.
15. Mateo to Zareno, off the block and good.
So far Zareno, using his blockers. Pero, they still need to do a lot of that, to be able to catch up to NU in
Yeah.
this set.
From the moment Zareno checked in again, he has been delivering the points for the
Yes.
Altas. But could it be too late? The hero.
And Budin.
Within back row attack, just too strong for the Altas. 23-16 is the tally. NU needing just 2 points to book a ticket to the finals of the V-League Challenge Cup Men's Tournament. diving
Good
save
pass.
for Pepito. Ramirez off the block.
Good
But
block
that's a point
by
for Malinis. And NU is now at match point. And they have 8 match points to work with. Difficult hill to climb for Perpetual. But do they have one magic left up their sleeve?
Oh, another block
Another block.
kill.
Back-to-back kill blocks ends this game. An emphatic end for the NU Bulldogs as we check that out one more time. Despite that fake by Andrade, Almendras won't be denied with that kill block. Mataas na yung block ni
Yes.
Almendras doon. Wala nang palulusutan. Itong si Joshua Zareno. That's why NU closing this game in 3 straight sets and punching their ticket to the finals of the men's volleyball competition of the V-League 2022. They remain undefeated in this tournament. They're now at
Yes.
7-0. And still, only 1 set loss noong isang laban nila against Arellano. Yun pa lang yung set na natatalo nila. And they haven't called the timeout at all in
Yan
this
nga
game.
eh. It just goes to show na how confident Coach Dante is when it comes to his players.
Yeah, why fix what isn't broken?
Yes.
And we turn you over now to Mika Madrid, who is with our player of the game.
Salamat, Lawrence and Marge. And now we have Buds of the NU Bulldogs as our player of the game. Buds, congratulations. You guys blew your opponent in 3 straight sets and kahit na malakas yung kalaban, you managed to wipe them out ng sunod-sunod. So anong formula nyo at nagawa nyo to ng mabilisan?
Siguro yung naging preparation namin and siguro di kami nagpahinga, talagang pinagandaan namin yung laro namin kasi gusto namin bumawi kasi nung PMB matalo kami. So, ngayon bawi kami na ipakita na kung anong skills na meron kami. Yun po.
Kaya naman sobrang importante talaga ng preparasyon sa bawat laro. And ngayon, alam kong nanonood yung friends mo, family, and your fans. So is there anything that you wanna tell them?
Yun, binabati ko yung mga magulang ko na nanonood sa baya, maina, Hadasope na Robin, and yung sa mga taga-Mangsi na nanonood ngayon, sa mga taga-Puerto Princesa City, and sa mga classmate na yung professor ko, and sa jowa ko na nanonood ngayon. And sa asawa ni ate na Mati Rusman, yun po.
Salamat, Buds. Again, congratulations to the NU Bulldogs. Back to you, Lawrence and Marge.
Yeah, maraming salamat Mika Madrid with that interview with our player of the game as we check out some of the highlights. Indeed, that preparation for the NU Bulldogs worked to wonders. That's why they were able to take this in 3 straight sets. But we have to credit the effort of the Perpetual Altas as well because they fought within the game. They were able to make it tough for the NU Bulldogs, especially in sets 1 and 2. Kaya naman yung talaan nung unang dalawang set ay parehong 25-22. So dikit na dikit po yung laban in sets 1 and 2. But again, NU just stamping their class and elevating their dominance against Perpetual. They did not change anything, did not call a timeout, that is. Just worked with their system. Retamar just finding his attackers, variating their attacks. Unfortunately for Perpetual, they had a few bright spots. Katulad nitong si Louie Ramirez. Hero Austria had an off game despite the fact that he's averaging 14.8 points per game. Seemingly did not reach that total against NU. That's why NU, after 3 straight sets, they go to the finals of the V-League Men's Volleyball Tournament. And as NU punches their ticket, who will they face rather in the finals? Will it be the Ateneo Blue Eagles or the UST Golden Spikers? Check out Louie Ramirez in the losing cause. They now go to the battle for 3rd and 4th place. Choi Jiao has been excellent for the NU Bulldogs also. And we will take a break and we will be back with the 4th game of our quadruple header. It's Ateneo against UST.